afternoon everyone. So today we're going to be doing a stock pitch. So we're just going to introduce the team real quick. We've got our financial advisors, Jenny and Eden, who've done our number crunching today. And then I'm your presentation coordinator.
So we also have myself, Zaria, as the key researcher, and also Lily as our technical coordinator.
Investments are educated gambles. Not every investment is created equal and not every investment is beneficial. So the only way we can really decide on the value of an investment is to take educated guesses based on previous data, using company operations, and just by assessing the overall vision of the company that they aspire towards. So today we'll be examining Premier Investments, a billion-dollar conglomerate that owns several retailers such as Cotton On and the Just Group, known for catering towards fashion trends and micro fashion trends and delivering very low cost products. And then alongside that we will be examining KMD Brands. So they are a multi-million-dollar company that is known for owning the three main businesses, Kathmandu, Rip Curl and Oboz, all of which focusing on sustainable apparel and lifestyle products for outdoor and athletic activities. This stock pitch will analyse the current share price on the ASX and undergo valuation procedures to determine the intrinsic value alongside the valuation judgments to decide which company will be the most valuable investment based on the current share price and its indicators.
Looking at the management of these brands, KMD is mostly influenced by Michael Daly, who was the largest shareholder of the company and also the former CEO of Kathmandu, but now currently serves as KMD Brand CEO and also its managing director, therefore giving him a large influence over the internal controls of the company. On the other hand, we have Premier Investments, with Richard Murray as the CEO and also the largest shareholder of its conglomerate. So going into depth on the company's visions, Premier Investments aims to deliver effective cost control through the supply chain in order to allow for affordable clothing and fashion items and also continuing to maintain their innovative competitive advantages. However, KMD Brands has a significantly higher focus on sustainability and also reaching out to the international market with especially the United States, while also explaining their global reach and also improving their sustainable practices. As we look at the current stock prices of each company, we can see that KMD Brands has a share price of $1.06 with an overall company value of $736 million. With Premier Investments, they have a share price of $25.22, while also having a current market company value of $4 billion.
Okay, so with every company there are internal elements that are going to become value drivers for the company, and there are also going to be some red flags that are presented. So as we can see up on the screen for KMD Brands, their biggest value driver, their most salient one, is that they really focus on sustainability, which allows for the ethical production of their goods and allows for their products to be made very environmentally conscious, which is their second major value driver. That's their main brand. They focus on sustainability and outdoor living. However, KMD Brands have a few red flags. So the first red flag is that they're not really adaptable. So they did struggle throughout COVID and their profits did plummet throughout COVID due to the fact that they did not have that in-store experience and the fact that their online customer base was not up to par. KMD Brands also has a low inventory turnover, so stock is consistently discounted. And because they do not have the turnover that they require, it also consists of lower profit margins because their stock is constantly discounted. So moving on to Premier Investments, their most salient value driver is that they are highly adaptable. So their company performed incredibly well throughout COVID. They decided to expand their distribution channels and really go online and allow for that experience for the consumers. So they managed to actually grow throughout COVID. They also have a very low sale price of their cost of goods products, so consumers are more willing to impulse buy, and it is very easy to replace their products once they are worn out because it's quite a low stock price. So they have, like I said, a very large online presence, which expanded their distribution channels throughout COVID and has given consumers more access to their product. And then their low cost of production of goods means that they can, once again, sell their goods for the lowest possible price, and they don't need to spend as much to produce those goods and services. So looking over at their red flags over here, we can see that they do participate in fast fashion, which contrasts KMD brands. So they lack sustainability, actually, Premier Investments, which compromises the ethical production of their goods. They also have a somewhat low asset turnover, so the low generation of sales on their assets, so quite a slow return on their profit. They're not selling their goods as fast as they probably should be. They also have low revenue growth compared to their competitors. However, we can maybe assume that this is due to the fact that they own a large portion of their market.
So as we can see on the screen, the growth potential for both companies are experiencing a decline. For KMD brands, it can be assumed that this is a result of lack of adaptability, failing to engage their consumers due to the COVID-19 pandemic, but also failing for consumer distribution channels. With KMD brands, the operation cash flows have significantly decreased in 2022, and this is a result of purchasing Rip Curl in the beginning of 2020, and also as a result of reducing the available cash to circulate around the business. On the other hand, Premier Investments has performed extremely well due to the pandemic. Their growth potential is decreasing due to their ability to outperform competitors, while also limiting their ability to grow further and also expanding their market share. Premier Investments has experienced a noticeable decline in their operating cash flow. However, it is almost triple the amount that was used in the operations prior to the pandemic, as shown in the 2020 distribution, showing that this event allowed the business to thrive, and that following these economic conditions, the company aims to regain some of that consistency and maintain the significant growth resulting from the pandemic. While we look at the profitability of each business, it can be seen that Premier Investments on the right remains relatively consistent in its profit growth. Despite the COVID spike occurring in 2020, this drastically increased the profitability of Premier Investments. Therefore, their profits have remained consistent since. With KMD brands, however, their profits have remained highly inconsistent, which is due to investing and also the market disruption caused by the pandemic.
Okay, so based on the current economic and global conditions, we have presented some scenarios that we would consider to be the worst case, base case, and best case scenarios. So for KMD brands, we're actually going to focus on the worst case scenario, which we believe probably has a 45% probability, so we're quite confident that this is something that's quite probable for the future. And that would be that there is a significant decrease in their profits due to yet another economic disruption. So as we've seen throughout COVID, they're not very adaptable. They don't have the online base that Premier Investments has. And also factoring in inflation and the inability to adapt, consumer confidence is going to most likely fall with that brand, we believe. Obviously, at the moment we are facing the war between Russia and Ukraine, as well as a few other political disagreements that would indicate an economic disruption is highly likely. Moving on to Premier Investments, once again we have their worst case, base case, and best case scenario. So we're going to actually look at their best case scenario here. So their best case scenario, we give them about a 40% probability, and that is that they will consistently continue to grow and use their strategies that they use through their adaptability, and that's going to really maximize their profits, which is a focus of their CEO.
So after we have reviewed our case scenarios and based on our valuation strategies and considering external factors, Premier Investments has an intrinsic value of $20.23 in comparison to its market price of $25.22. And this shows that the company is overvalued and it should not be purchased at its current market price. With KMD brands, on the other hand, they have an intrinsic value of $1.73, which is higher than its market price of $1.06. This shows that the KMD brands is undervalued in the market despite its inconsistent indicators. However, these inconsistent indicators should still be taken into high consideration. So based on our research and valuation of the companies, we have decided that neither company should be recommended, as we have determined that Premier Investments is overvalued in its market value compared to its share price. And while KMD Brands has a higher intrinsic value than its share price, the indicators such as profitability and growth potential are too unpredictable to recommend for long-term investments. So in summary, we do not believe that either company presents a wiser investment choice due to the unpredictability of KMD Brands and the overvalued market price of Premier Investments.